Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I figured right now would be a pretty good time to start talking about some tools that I use to navigate the NFT space because, to be honest, the markets right now are pretty boring. Like, most NFT projects are failing out of mint and there just isn't that much volume. Because you can see right up here, Magic Eden, volume in the last 24 hours is only 50,000 SOL, and that's really not that much compared to what we see in a bull market. And so yeah, I figured right now will be a good time to start looking into these tools so that when the next bull market happens, you're ready to jump on that train. In this video, I have some stuff that's going to be pretty common knowledge for your typical trader, but I do have some hidden gems in the video, so stay tuned for that. And without further ado, let's begin with Magic Eden itself. Magic Eden is your go-to stop for buying and selling NFTs. On the top, you can see some cool stats about the 24-hour volume that we talked about, the volume total, Solana USD price, the Solana network TPS. TPS is basically transactions per second. And then if you connect your wallet, you'll be able to see all your NFTs in your wallet as well as the floor price for each one and your total NFT value. On the sidebar in the marketplace, you can also see it when you scroll down. You can see upcoming launchpad drops, some NFT tutorials, popular collections in the last 1 hour, 24 hours, 7 days, and 30 days, upcoming launches, as well as the top community upvoted drops. I think out of all these sections, this part would be one of the more important ones because you can obviously see how much the community supports their project. Like over here, Soul Park, you can see it has 3,000 upvotes, which is pretty impressive in these markets. I would say if you're interested in the art and if a project has maybe over 1,000 upvotes, then that'll be a good metric to see if the community is really there and they're actually excited about minting. Then down here we have some auctions, and then we have top market projects, most followed collections, matches downvoted, highest sales, and just a bunch more data. I don't really look at the others on this bar, but feel free to look at those if you want. Magic Eden is mostly just the go-to stop for buying and selling NFTs. There is other places that you can buy and sell NFTs at, like at OpenSea, and I think Teo has a launchpad as well, but for the most part, Magic Eden has the biggest shares in terms of trading Solana NFTs. The next tool we have is Soul Sniper. Now, if you watched my videos before, you probably have seen this before, but Soul Sniper is a great analytics tool where you can see the price action of any NFT project and what's selling and what's being listed in real time. So right now, this is the main page. You can look at what's popular, the trending page. I don't really look at this too much because if something's already trending, then you're probably too late to the party and you risk buying the top. And so I usually go to this place called the watch list. And here I already have the remnants pulled up, but this is basically where you can look at number of listings and the floor price for each NFT project. And here in the top right, you can set alarms for price alerts. So if a floor price is above, let's say 10 SOL, this thing will ring for you, and then you can decide to sell if you want. And then if it's below a certain price threshold that you set, then you can be like, okay, it's now below this price, now I'm gonna buy in. And so it's very handy for buying and selling NFTs that are trading really quickly in real time, because you don't want to be sitting at your computer all day looking at the price go up and down. And so this will just automatically notify you once it's at the certain threshold that you set. If you want more details about a project, then you can just click here on the collection name, and then it'll show you more data about the real-time listings and sales. So here we have a bunch of listings at above the floor. And so this is really good for sniping. If you want to snipe an NFT that has a high rarity, especially when a project first mints out, this could be really lucrative. Or you could also just buy the floor down here. For those of you who are interested in technical analysis, you can use these price charts to analyze price action. You can go to the minute charts if you want, if you're that much of a degen, or you can go to the hour chart or to the days chart. And yeah, just analyze the number of listings, the volume, the floor price, and I think there's also an RSI chart somewhere. Maybe not in the day chart, but let's try the 6 hours chart. Not on this chart for some reason, I'm not sure why. But there's also this live section that could be useful. I don't use this too often, but this basically just shows you any collection that's being bought and being sold right now. And so if you see a certain collection that's being bought and sold really fast, then you might want to take a look into it to see if you can catch the pump. So right now it looks like Soul Kongs, Gothic Degens, and Pump Birds, and also Face of Souls are being listed and bought right now. Top movers you can also see on the right. This gives you some more details about the value and average price and the number of sales. On the left here you can be more specific about a name, so if you see something cool, then you can type it in here and then you can set your price as well. Yeah, just overall I think Soul Sniper is a great NFT tracker and watch list. It's just one of the best in the business, and I highly recommend this if you're going to be actively trading NFTs. Next up we have the famous token market from Famous Fox Federation. And here, back in the day when whitelist tokens were still prevalent, they can come here to buy and sell whitelist tokens. Back in the bull market, there was actual demand for NFT projects being minted out. Oftentimes, surprisingly enough, NFT projects wouldn't even get to public sale, they'll just sell out in whitelist sale, and so these whitelist tokens really went for a lot sometimes. And also on here, you can buy and sell crypto coins for your native NFT projects. Like for instance, if you're in Donkey Society down here, and they're holding raffles, then you might want to buy some ass tokens to participate in those raffles and hopefully win an NFT or something like that. Famous Fox also has a raffling system in which you can raffle off NFTs to acquire these NFT tokens. So it's like an exchange. You can either use tokens to buy into these raffles for NFTs and stuff like that, or you can use NFTs and sell them off in a raffle/auction to get more crypto tokens. There's also a lot more tools in the famous token market. If you go to here, utility. Is it utility? I think it's somewhere here. Oh yeah, the utility. You can see Foxy Swap, Foxy Send for bulk sending NFTs, Foxy Sweep, Foxy List. The list goes on and on, but I think you have to be an actual Fox holder to use these tools. I'm not too sure on that. I mostly just use the token market to buy and sell tokens and also the raffling system sometimes to try my luck. On the topic of crypto tokens, you can also exchange tokens on here called radium.io, or you can just look up Radium Swap on Google. Here you can just trade tokens like Solana, USD, or any other crypto token that has a LP in here. And then swap it to this. There's a small transaction fee, and yeah, that's pretty much how you would swap tokens if you wanted to. I use it sometimes, but not often, but it's good to know. Next up, we have the dashboards on Dune. It's just dune.com/home. I look up Solana here because that's obviously what I'm about. We have some different stuff like StepN, also StepN actually, Solana Marketplaces Index, Game Metrics, Magic Eden versus OpenSea. What I go to usually is this one created by @kunal. It just gives us some metrics over the NFT marketplaces, Magic Eden, OpenSea, Solana Art, Digital Eyes, and Form Function. I haven't even heard of the last two, but here you can see that the daily purchases is relatively stable even though the daily volume has been going down. So that's interesting to see. Here we have the percentages, so mostly you can tell all the stuff is on Magic Eden. 98.8% of daily buys is on Magic Eden. That's absolutely crazy. And then some average transaction values. I don't know what to make of this really. But yeah, you will probably be using this every day, but it's just handy to look at where the market is trending and stuff like that. This website, CoralCube, I think is heavily underrated because it's also like a marketplace, I think. Like Magic Eden, but I feel like the UI and just how fast it updates is absolutely way beyond Magic Eden. It's just that Magic Eden established itself first, and that's why all these other marketplaces are kind of under the radar. But CoralCube, what I use this for is for sniping rarity, because sometimes on Magic Eden the rarities, if you have the extension, I forgot what it's called. Let's just go to Magic Eden. Let's just click on a random project. Realize Rhapsody, sure. If it'll load faster, there we go. So I have this extension where you can see the rarities ideally, but yeah, perfect example right now. You can't see the rarities here. Usually it would show like the number. I think one of them is min rank, the other one's how rare it is. I think that's what it's called, but probably wrong. On CoralCube, let's type in, what's it called again? Realize Rhapsody. Type that shit in, click on here. And now we can see instantly their rank. This one's ranked 645 out of 2,500. This one's 1581 out of 2500, and so on. So obviously, right now, this one on the floor is definitely the best buy in terms of rarity because, as you can see, it's the rarest one on the row. Let's scroll down a bit. Yeah, definitely the best one. You can go here for rank 592, but you have to pay a slightly higher premium for it, though it's only 0.08, so not bad. But yeah, CoralCube, especially for when NFT projects just mint out and people are just listing stuff without knowing their rarity. This is how you snipe stuff on the floor when people accidentally list their rare NFTs like they're a common one. Heavily undervalued, and I strongly recommend doing this. And the last tool that we're going to be talking about today is called the thirdweb.io, and here on the homepage you can see that it's very similar to Magic Eden, where it shows you the popular collections, the floor volume of these projects, as well as their trading volume. Though I think it's floor price maybe, whether it's trending upwards or downwards. It's either floor price or volume, I'm not sure which one. Hope they can be more specific on that. But what I use this for mostly is for the hype chart, because like on Magic Eden, you can see which projects are hyped based on their community upvotes, whether they have a lot. I'm saying use 1000 as a metric, but that's completely up to you. But of course, circumstances can change per project. But here you can see the hype score of these upcoming NFTs. I'm not sure how the hype score is calculated. Maybe let's see here, hype this collection. Okay, so it looks like it's based on their Twitter and Discord numbers. But what I'd like to do is I click on full info on a project, And here it'll tell you the supply, the mint price if it knows it, the mint date, and here the report card. What I look here for is the average Discord members online percentage. And right now for this was Shisoka, if it has less than 10%, I usually stay away. So here Shisoka has an average Discord online percentage of 6% only. This typically means that either there's a lot of members that are not active or it's botted. But some other cool stats that you can look at are Twitter and Discord numbers, because another metric that you can look at is whether or not there's enough community members to meet the NFT project supply, because obviously if there's less members than there are supply, then there's a big chance that the NFT project is not going to mint out, especially in these market conditions right now. And so let's look at another one. Back to collections, hype chart. Let's look at Oak Paradise. Supply 10,000, report card. Okay, average Discord online percentage is over 10%, so I'm a lot more comfortable minting this than Shisoka because it has double the amount of members online on Discord. And so yeah, this is just another tool to help you cut down on the number of NFT projects that you're interested in, because there's just too many projects coming out these days and you really got to cut through the noise and find stuff that is actually worth minting, because otherwise you're going to lose a lot of money, you're going to lose a lot of time. And so this, as well as the upvoted drops, as well as doing your research on Twitter and Discord, will really help you find potential blue chip projects that'll come out. And yeah, that about does it for this week's video. If you liked all the alpha that I gave, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Peace.